recording is started. All right, thank you so much, Dr. Yoling Zhuang, as your your presence today to share with us. I will get you introduced to our participants today. Dr. Yuling Swang is an assistant professor of mathematics education in the Department of Teaching, Learning, and Culture at Texas A&M University. Her research focuses on integrating AI tools into mathematics teacher education, with particular emphasis on supporting pre-service mathematics teachers, simulated practice-based teaching, and AI literacy development. She studies how teachers can support meaningful STEM learning through mathematical argumentations and designs instructional tools and interventions to support teachers' professional learning. Dr. Swang has published in leading mathematics educational journal and currently leads several projects exploring the potential of AI-driven teaching tools to enhance mathematics teaching and learning. Dr. Swang, feel free to start your presentations.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction, Amanda. And thank you for the people who come today, especially it's a Friday afternoon before the spring break. So I'm really honored to be here to kind of talk about my research about integrating ChatGPT into mathematics teacher education to support practice-based training. So here is a motivation, like why we think at the time right now we need to have AI in mathematics teacher education. So as we know, AI driving tools such as ChatGPT can respond to students' mathematics thinking in ways previous technology could not yet. And they can like answer those questions, give answers to their problem solving. However, teachers remain essential in guiding, interpreting, and shape meaningful mathematics understanding for students' learning. And it is acknowledged that AI is already in our mathematics teaching and learning. Students are already turning to use AI for some mathematics help, no matter we say avoid or not use it. They use it right now to start to working on math problems. And it is clear that AI is not going to replace teachers, as they can make mistakes or giving incomplete explanations in mathematics. And it is important for teachers to teach students to question and critically evaluate AI outputs. And also, we all know that AI may have trained on biased data set, so what they have been giving outputs may not be correctly. And from our teacher education perspective, it is very important for us right now to lead in preparing future educators for an AI future. And future teachers, if their students already use AI, they also need to know how to use AI and to teach their students to use AI critically, aesthetically, and pedagogically. And the AI areas also requires the teachers have a robust mathematics knowledge for teaching, and also they need to have their AI literacy knowledge. So right now, from the current research, there are some different ways of using AI in math teacher education. For example, we all know that it can provide some support to support the lesson planning development. And it also can leverage large data set to suggest various instructional strategies. And also it can generate mathematical tasks and learning activities tailored to specific grade levels or standards so teachers can join on. However, limited research has examined how AI can support teachers' professional learning through simulation-based environment that provide pre-service teachers and both in-service teachers with opportunities to practice co-teaching skills. So the key insight of our project, my project, is rather than use AI as a tutoring that can provide answers, why not we simulate AI as a struggling students? So it can provide those future teachers to interact with AI to understand what are students thinking and what are their potential misconceptions and how I can address a response to those students' thinking. So in that way, it can support their practice-based teaching and give them some practice pedagogy knowledge to improve before they go to the field experience. So the goal of this is trying to bridge the gap between knowing and doing math teacher education, as research already consistently shows that pre-service teachers face significant challenges in enacting co-teaching practices due to the inherent complexity of teaching. And also building a practice-based teacher education theory, it is important to shift from emphasizing proposition knowledge about teaching to provide teacher candidates to enacting those teaching practices in context. And it's also important for us to help students to bridge between the theory into practice as they are in their teacher education program. So the challenge for us is to right now we have is learning to teach requires to doing it. However, we do have few opportunities for in our teacher education program provide teachers to practice their teaching or rehearsal due to we need to find the space, we need the time, and we need all this like support. So in this case, we think AI can support in that way to bridge this gap to support future educators to practice their teaching. So here are some like initial ways like we think, oh, this is use of generative AI for practice-based teaching and how we can doing that. Like AI can enable, like why we think AI could be doing this. For example, AI enables interactive human-like simulations of classroom scenarios. And it can practice without constraints. Pre-served teacher can rehearse teaching anytime and anywhere with the AI. And it also can provide instant feedback loops. AI can provide like immediate context specific feedback to support their reflection and refinement of practice teaching. And it also can help to connect the theoretic preparation with enactment to support ongoing improvement cycles. And more importantly, is AI cannot act as not only as a teacher, as I said here, it can act as a teacher, as a coach, as a teaching partner, depends on how we situated it to support our teacher education. So here is a basic theoretic perspective, like how we're going to situate AI. It's based on the practice-based teaching learning cycle. So when we're trying to learn co-teaching practice in a traditional teacher education program, we usually start with introduce about the activity and then preparing the rehearsal and then students enact it. Then we analyze and reflecting and then refine their practice. So in this way, we propose an idea about generative role play AI simulation for pedagogy, which we call it GRASP. So parallel to that model, we propose 4 stages for students to engage on while they interact with AI: initiating, exploring, enacting, and reflecting. So in this different phase, AI will simulate it as different roles to support their practice-based teaching. So first, AI will simulate it as a knowledge builder. They also simulate it as situation generator. And those 2 roles are really work together to support their conceptual understanding of the co-teaching practices. Then AI will simulate it as a student to try to interact with a pre-served teacher to let them to practice their teaching. And finally, we'll let AI to serve as a coach to provide their reflection about their teaching, how they can improve what they have been done good in these practices. So here are some more details about how each phases are working, and these are some more like information about this. Okay. So to do this, we have already kind of implemented this in my classroom. So which we did focus on mathematics argumentation last semester in my integrated mathematics course. So what we do is we develop like some custom GPT to let students to interact them with this AI simulated role play. Okay. And also there are some interface we're working on right now is let students to pre-service teachers to interact with AI simulated students, like with some potential misconceptions, so they can learn from students thinking through these phases. Okay. So in that way, we think it's also important for our math teacher educators like me to ensure that pre-service teachers also develop a thorough understanding of generative AI tools, like through this process, so they can learn about the tool's capabilities, their limitations, and while they interact with AI, they also learn their how to effective ask follow-up prompts, how to propose questions, and also get productive dispositions towards the AI. And it also for us to provide ongoing support to those pre-service teachers as they are continually interaction with AI. Okay, and those are some implications of this project is in practice, we want to provide pre-service teachers with an interactive and low-stake environments for practicing co-teaching practice. And the grasp model I just shared will serve as a framework to let the math teacher educator to think about how we could potentially integrate generative AI tools into mathematics teacher education courses. And for research, we could think about how we can start AI chatbots to foster students noticing, interpretation, and response to student thinking when they are interact with an AI simulated student. How we can examine the certainty and fidelity of AI generated ideas and analyze how those pre-served teachers are make the in the moment teaching decisions where they are practicing with those AI simulated students. I think that's all I have for today, and thank you.